Hello children, how are you? Well, I hope you people are not skipping to watch your videos and you people are sincerely completing your book exercises and copy work. Well, now we would start with our next chapter, that is combustion and fossil fuels. But before we start learning details of the chapter, let us first identify various substances that are burning in the upcoming pictures. Do have a look and note down the substances that are burning in the pictures. So this is picture number 1. Then follows picture number 2, picture number 3, and picture number 4. So children, I guess after looking into the pictures, you might have carefully noted down the substances that are burning in each one of them. Now let us check it and know whether the substances written in each of our notebook is correct or not. So the substance burning in picture number 1 is wood. In picture number 2 is candle. In picture number 3 is coal. And in picture number 4 is LPG gas. Now let us know that what causes each of them burning and what are the two things that is produced when this substance is burned. Well, this substance is burned due to the process called as combustion. Now, you would be wondering what exactly do we mean by the term combustion? Well, now the combustion means burning of a substance in the presence of air or oxygen with the release of heat and light. Now, these burning substances or the substance that burns are further classified into two various parts, such as combustible substances and non-combustible substances. Now, what exactly do we mean by combustible substances? Substances which burn in air to produce heat and light are called combustible substances, example wood, charcoal, kerosene, etc. Similarly, non-combustible substances are the material that does not burn readily in the air to produce heat and light. For example, sand, metals, stones, pebbles, etc. Similarly, combustion can be classified into rapid, spontaneous, and explosion combustion. Now let us understand what is rapid combustion. The combustion in which a substance burns rapidly and produces heat and light is called rapid combustion. Example, burning of white phosphorus at room temperature. Now let us move to our second type of combustion, that is spontaneous combustion. This type of combustion in which the material suddenly bursts into flames without the application of any cause is called spontaneous combustion. Further, spontaneous combustion is divided into complete and incomplete combustion. Complete combustion occurs where there is enough oxygen available for all the carbon atoms in the fuel to burn, whereas incomplete combustion occurs when there is insufficient oxygen present for the fuel to burn. Now here we will move towards our third type of combustion, that is explosion combustion. Now this type of combustion is confined in a place, requires fuel, oxidizer and ignition temperature. It causes containers to rupture or burst. This type of combustion is explosion combustion. But for the combustion to occur, there are certain necessary conditions such as presence of the combustible substances, presence of the supporter of combustion, attainment of the ignition temperature. Now let us first understand what do we exactly mean by the ignition temperature. The term ignition temperature means the lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire is called ignition temperature, and it is essential for all the substances to reach its ignition temperature to burn. To prove that ignition temperature is necessary for combustion, let us do an experiment. Now, in the activity to prove that ignition temperature is necessary for combustion, let us perform a small experiment, for which we need a candle and an aluminium foil. Now take a candle and light it on and keep it on the table. Make a hole in the aluminium foil. Slide it at the base of the flame above the melted wax. You would notice that the candle gets extinguished, which proves that the flame is extinguished due to the low ignition temperature due to the presence of aluminum foil near the flame. As aluminum foil lowers the ignition temperature by absorbing heat from the candle. Now, generally, when something burns or undergoes combustion, we regularly use this term. Now, what exactly this term is? Anyone guess? Yes, you people are right. It is fire. Though we use this term a lot, but what exactly does it mean? What is fire? Fire is a chemical reaction in which energy in the form of heat is produced and combustion or burning occurs. But the fire only occurs if there is a presence of the three things in a fire triangle, and that is fuel, ignition temperature, that is heat, or the presence of the oxygen, without which a fire cannot be caused. But to extinguish fire, generally we pour water on the burning material so as to cut off the oxygen supply or bring down the ignition temperature. But certainly there are certain cases in which using water could be dangerous, such as oil and electrical fire. Now, because when water extinguishes heat by cooling the burning substances, the fire produced by burning oil and petrol cannot be extinguished by water. This is because water is heavier than oil and petrol, so when water is thrown over burning oil, it settles down and the oil floats on water and continues to burn. Similarly, when there is an electrical fire, then water cannot be thrown on it. Water is a natural conductor of electricity, and if you throw water on an electrical fire, you are going to get shock during this fire. So, to extinguish such kind of fires, these special fire extinguishers are made. Now, let us first understand what is a fire extinguisher. A fire extinguisher is a device which can be used to control a fire. They help to remove the fire and we stop it for burning. And to extinguish such kind of fires, that is oil and electrical fires, carbon dioxide fire extinguisher and soda acid fire extinguishers are made. Now let us see one by one what are these fire extinguishers. Here in this video you could notice that the first type of fire extinguisher is APW, that is the water fire extinguisher that we generally use on wood, paper, cloth or any kind of flammable liquid. But there are certainly other kind of fire extinguishers as well. For example, the carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. Now, the carbon dioxide fire extinguisher is an ineffective in extinguishing class A fire because it will not be able to displace enough oxygen and put out the fire easily. Similarly, the carbon dioxide fire is normally used in oil fires so as it forms a huge thick layer on the burning oil and it cuts off the oxygen supply to it. Now let us move to the third class of fire extinguisher, that is the soda acid fire extinguisher. So now as we had been learning about the combustion, we got to know that the process of burning of substance is called combustion. The substances that combust or burns is fire. Different fire can be extinguished by various and different ways by using. But what does it called when we lit a fire or a candle or a glass stove? Yes, you are right. It is known as flame. Now what do you mean by flame? Flame is the region where combustion of fuel occurs. Its color depends on temperature, amount of air available and the nature of the substance burning. For example, hydrocarbons burns with the blue or yellow flame. But you can note how the color of the flame changes in the upcoming picture. Now, the first type of or the color of the flame is the yellow flame. It is a luminous flame, emits a lot of light. occurs when insufficient oxygen is there, also known as the region of incomplete combustion. Temperature is lower than the blue flame, but it leaves behind black soot and the other residues. Now the next kind of or the color of the flame is blue. The blue flames are the non-luminous flame, emits a very little light, occurs when adequate amount of oxygen is present, and is known as the region of complete combustion and leave no residues behind. So, to understand it better, let us light a candle and understand its zone of combustions properly. There are different zones of a candle flame. Generally, a zone of candle is divided into its three parts. First, zone of complete combustion. Second, zone of incomplete combustion. And third, zone of no combustion. Now, let us discuss about the first zone, that is zone of complete combustion. This zone is also known as the outer zone or the blue zone. It is the hottest part of the flame. In this zone, the wax vapors have enough oxygen to burn completely. That means it produces carbon dioxide and water, but it emits a very little light. Now next is the middle zone or the yellow zone, which is also known as the zone of incomplete combustion. It is less hotter than the outer zone. However, it produces carbon particles as its residue and also emits carbon monoxide. But this zone emits the most of the light. Now the last zone of the candle flame is the inner zone or the black zone. It is the coolest part of the candle flame. In this zone, the wax vapors remain unburned and the oxygen is abundantly available. This zone is the coolest zone and does not produce any residue and emits no light. But to understand it better, let us do an activity. In this activity, we need a candle and a matchbox. We need to light the candle using the matchbox and blow out the candle and immediately bring a burning matchstick near the smoke. In the case the smoke is not visible, hold the little matchstick above the wick. You will observe that the flame from the match reignites the wick again. When a candle is lit, it is the wax that burns, not the wick. Now from this experiment, we can easily conclude that it is the wax vapor that burns, but not the liquid wax or the solid wax. When a candle wick is lit, the heat produced from the flame melts the wax. The wick soaks itself and absorbs the molten wax, and the heat from the flame vaporizes the molten wax in the wick. The wax vapors burns in the flame, and this process continues till the entire wax is consumed and the candle is extinguished. So, now let us learn that what happens when a candle is combust or when we burn a candle. So children, if you would observe a candle flame closely, you would notice that the wick burns and it stands in a pool of a liquid wax. There is a small portion of the unburnt wick between the flame and the liquid wax. The liquid wax is trapped in a cup of solid wax. The liquid or the solid wax never catches fire, but we can see the wick is burning. But it cannot be that only substance that is burning, as the candle gets smaller as it burns. So, to understand the burning process or the combustion of the candle, we first made an experiment which shows that it is not the wick that burns but the candle that burns. So children, complete understanding your video up till here. In the next video, we will start with fuel and the fossil fuels extraction along with its refining. Up till then,